Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by the fine folks of These Colors Don't Run. Your writer, director Chris Ethridge, producer Dayna Doffke, and we have the stars, Jason Tostevin, who's changed his appearance since we went live, and Tova Weinberger. It's good to have all of you. I've seen you all before. It's good to have you, some of you for the first time on the show. So for people not aware yet, can you give them an idea of what These Colors Don't Run is?
Yeah, sure. It's a slasher. It's a short film. It's a slasher. As Mr. Tostevin here has eloquently visually depicted. And then it's got a fun little change on how slashers usually end. I think is a good way to put that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think a lot of people think of slashers as like generic, but like over the last I don't know 20 years or maybe more 30 years, people like start to dissect them and find out really what they're about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So Chris, are you a big slasher fan?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it depends on which one. Some of them I like more than others, but yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird to say I just love all of whatever movies. Jason, how did you get involved? And it's a fitting name.
Yeah, I was afraid my teammates wouldn't recognize me without some sort of mask because I wore one the whole shoot. I got involved because I know these three great people. I've known Chris for a long time. I've known Dayna and Tova for a while, maybe not quite as long. Chris and I have worked together on some partnerships at Nightmares Film Festival. He's played the festival. We've been on the circuit together, and we had talked a ton about how can we find a way to work together. And then he knew I had been doing some acting. I should probably do quotes.
You don't do quotes. Acting. That's not. No. You've been doing some acting.
I have been doing some acting, and I'm really interested in it, and he knew that, and he invited me to play. And Neal, I just need you to know I was very excited at the number of lines that I had in this role. That was one of the things that was most that I anticipated the most.
Off book from minute one.
The second I said yes. That's how dedicated I was.
Impressive.
Well, Chris, what was Chris and Dayna? What made you think of Jason for the character?
I mean, I think that again, we had been talking for a while about where we're going to find a place to work together, and then when I wrote the script, I thought about it for a long time, but I actually wrote it very quickly, and it really wasn't anybody else. I was like, oh, this makes perfect sense. This is not like I just needed a bigger guy. I love the idea of Jason. He's got it pulled back right now, but he has some seriously long hair.
Yeah, I have even in my notes that I like that you use his hair in the movie.
Yeah, and the hair. I really like the idea of like a long haired slasher. I just like, this is fun. This is a little different. Like it was cool. So that was it was really just. I mean that was a no-brainer for me. Like it was a kind of a minute one choice.
Yeah. Neal, he cast the hair, and I had to come with it. That's really
Chris came to me and said, Jason for this, and said, I know he's going to do something special with it. And it's a role that does not have a lot of dialogue in reality. But Chris was absolutely certain, and he was correct, that Jason was going to do more with that role. This could easily, in another movie or with another actor, have been kind of a throwaway thing. And I'm really glad he went with Jason, because Jason did not throw it away. Jason took it, delved into it, and took it to some really neat places.
That's a good point, actually, because I do think people think like anyone can just play someone in a mask, but I've seen slasher movies or any movie where it's like you could tell if it's a person that's actually not a good performer in the mask. It does, it's not just a simple thing like, oh, we can just throw this on anybody.
It made a huge difference for me. I had to play off of somebody, so genuinely, anything that I did was fully reacting to what Jason was giving me.
Tova, how did you get involved?
I actually I had written a short screenplay and submitted to Nightmares Film Festival, and I lost. I was top 10, I think, but I lost, and
You wanted revenge.
I come out of that. I'm like, oh well, I'm so glad that I got close, and then somehow the #1 winner who beat me comes up to me and asks if I want to join his project. So I actually did win that year. It wouldn't have won if I wasn't in the future going to be attached.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Go on, sir.
I can talk a little bit more about that, which is that Tova and her brother Avishai made a film called Blank, that together that you wrote it together, right?
Yes, we wrote it together. Yeah.
And then went and made it, and that was the first time I saw Tova act. But I was like, oh, she's really good. And so I kind of had her, and I was like, somewhere I'm gonna, whenever you see a good performance, I go to a lot of festivals, whenever you see a good performance, you just kind of keep it in the back of your head, and that I just started thinking, maybe Tova would be really good for this. I bet she would be. I bet this works. And so for me, as a director, casting is like, I think that is actually one of my stronger skill sets. Is like I just kind of have a pretty solid instinct about casting, and that's half the battle for me. Is if I can get a good cast, that's going to bring the things I need to a film. And I just had an instinct, so I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to go with Tova, and boy was I right.
Thank you so much.
And Jason, because they talked about, and I talked about, the masked killer in a movie. So like, when you do take that role, you joke about you don't have lines, but how do you prepare for it? And are you a slasher fan? Were there any ones that you particularly looked at?
Yeah, first of all, long time dyed-in-the-wool horror guy, read horror, watched horror, like slashers, love a few of them, know them well. So, it's probably drawn from the same pool like deep horror, all the other deep horror nerds would be. But let me say this. It was really kind of Chris to cast me and Dayna to cast me because I am learning to act. I think you're always learning to act, but I made it a really dedicated pursuit, specifically over the last year or 2 years. And I hadn't had the chance. I had roles with a shit ton of dialogue, like unbelievable amounts of dialogue. Shout out Hope Madden. But I hadn't had this chance yet. And so, and performing behind a mask, all of that stuff was a unique challenge that I was really excited about. And just to say some nice things about Chris, because I'm sure we'll make fun of him some here, but Chris not only entertained all my dopey, let's talk backstory for this character, let's figure out how is this character different from slashers, let's give him some motivation, some story, some background. He fully participated in those conversations. He didn't just tolerate it. We talked about background. We talked about what would happen if there were a sequel. We talked about what this character would look like in a feature. I mean, there's a fully fleshed out story for this character that you never hear from. You only see react. And then the only other thing I'll say about performing behind a mask is there's really a bigger balance than I realized until I started trying to do it, between emoting with the mask and looking like you're lost and looking for directions. Like I need to give Tova something to work off of, but it can't be a circus sideshow. I can't be throwing my head all around and acting crazy. There has to be a genuineness underneath it.
And Tova, kind of the same question. Are you a slasher fan? The final girl. Who were some of the people that you were inspired by for the character?
Oh my god, just being a final girl is a dream come true. I'm a huge slasher fan. I think that I originally I grew up watching a lot of kaiju movies, like monster battle stuff, and then went straight into, I mean, Gamera, like the third Gamera movie is a horror movie, and that's what got me into like the body horror. You know, like they like suck all the blood out of the people. Great movie, love Gamera, but that's my base. And then my brother is also, he's about a year and a half, 2 years older than me. He's also really into horror, and he kind of got into this space already. So I didn't have to look for it. I tagged along, and I'm so glad I did. But as far as my own inspirations, I think just Final Girl is so powerful of a concept. I can't say any individual person. I'm glad that it was me.
Yeah. And there is a difference between Final Girl and a Scream Queen.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And I think people use them interchangeably, but they're much different tropes.
Yeah.
For sure.
For Jason was talking a lot about learning how to emote with the mask. I do a lot of I spend a lot of time scared. Is that a spoiler? Is that okay? I
don't think so.
What? Yeah, we know the whole plot now. She's scared in this movie.
Gave it
there
away.
are different layers of scared. I didn't want to be just the whole time, and so finding those nuances of when to be thinking but scared, or terrified, or apprehensive, or worried. It's just it's a solid amount of time where if I wasn't working so hard at trying to get those facial expressions, you would be bored out of your minds, I think. No, it's a beautiful film, but it's a lot of face.
Yeah, well, that's actually an interesting thing to even say, I think, because in a short film, to have like a character arc and not just be the same, emotional level, the whole thing, because, there's parts where your character starts to get more confidence. And so, there's an actual character arc within 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that's in the dialogue. Even like the dialogue, again, hard to find the beats when it's playing off of myself a little bit. Having somebody there to play off of is so useful. But even just before the dialogue of finding those moments of having an entire arc that could have ended, and then doing a whole nother arc that's entirely different.
Yeah.
The movie is definitely bifurcated, right? Like there's a first half and a second half. But one of the things I do want to say to Tova's performance is that the character she plays is I wrote her to be very smart, right? Like she actually is actively trying to figure her way out of a very difficult situation, and does a couple of things to do that. And so I thought it was what's really interesting about Tova's performance is how she like jumps back and forth between being scared and also thinking and trying to solve her problems. I think that's a really like fascinating part of her performance.
I think that character kind of represents people when they're watch, a slasher movie or horror movie. It's
right.
Like, well, how would I talk my way out of this? Or,
right. Yeah.
And then
exactly.
and then the mask is very smart because it's like, uh-oh, you said the wrong thing, or oh, this is working, and it's like the emotion of the character right there in front of everybody.
Yeah, yeah. We haven't really talked too much about the mask because it is kind of a fun sort of surprise in the film itself. But yeah, there's it has a mechanism by which it can sort of display emotion, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's weirdly sort of beautiful. It's weirdly beautiful to see.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting what colors you use to signify different things.
Yeah,
we won't talk too much about it because you want people not to be.
It's hard to. It's a difficult film to navigate around. Like if you don't want to avoid spoilers, but also talk about it. So right. I've been trying to wrap my brain around it for 2 days. Like how are we gonna? So it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. And Dayna, now I know you know Chris, and I guess you think he's an okay guy. But so what interested you in about these colors don't run red?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, okay, anything Chris asks me to do without being mean to him, I will do. Yes. If Chris asks me to be on a project, I know that it's going to be a good project. It's going to get done. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be filled with incredible people. So it's just absolutely, Chris asked me, I'm like, okay, cool. But also, he had me at Slasher. And once I got a chance to hear about more about Jason and Tova, who I hadn't met before, I mean,
now you love.
And I love. Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. And, yes, ultimately we want to make a good movie, but also we want to make a good movie with good people in a good way, right? That's the number one thing. And I just, this was just, not only is it an incredible film that everyone did a great job on, but it was also a really fun experience.
And so I guess Dayna's maybe the biggest slasher fan of the group.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think that's probably
Is that safe
correct.
to say? Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
kind of so maybe a generic question, but what is it about slashers that interests you?
Man, here's the funny part. I have had so many discussions about this my entire life, and I don't know that I can tell you, except that I like to see people survive. I love Final Girls. I like watching tropes get subverted. I like trying to figure out how I would be the one that survived. And I do love special effects. So you get me with like the practical special effects, blood. I love all that.
Along those lines, even though it's not like slasher, I always find that interesting in a movie like Taxi Driver or Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. It's like part of it's like, oh, maybe this could work out for these people, even though it's not going to. But
maybe
there's
just
always
this
a part
once,
like,
right?
yeah, this might actually work with these two. But
damn it
Hope
again.
springs eternal.
Who would hurt this face?
Exactly.
So, Jason talked about like a backstory to the character. And I also think what's because everyone, knows like a slasher movie. So, that like when the movie starts, these colors don't run. We already kind of know, even though we don't know exactly what's happened. Like people are aware, like, oh, this is like the end of this story. And so you don't need to like explain a lot of it because like you're kind of relying on the audience to know that, which you might not be able to do in like any type of genre.
Yeah, it definitely helps to have like just the kind of cultural knowledge of slashers certainly plays into that. I think with short films in general, shorthand is really helpful, right? Like just using things where like you can trust that the audience has some sort of built-in knowledge that helps you get a little bit more into the story without explaining everything. And certainly in this one, we leaned on that very heavily. Because
that came up in the when it was at Buried Alive Film Festival and the panel that Dayna was on. It was the writers panel about writing short films. And you've written a lot, so like how different is that than writing a feature film? Besides it being longer, obviously.
Me or Chris?
Yeah,
either one actually.
Go ahead, Dayna. You've written way more features than I have.
I have written way more features, which is the difference. I really I struggle with writing short films. It sounds like to some people it would be easier, right? Because it's shorter. But the fact is that you've got to get through an entire arc in that amount of time. So to me, it's the difference between like a one-line joke that's got a really good gotcha at the end. You really got to punch him at the end. Short film versus a long story that you're telling over a feature film. And I definitely think that some people are better at one than the other. Short films are tough, so this one has a good story arc and good character arcs, and I think that's unusual. That's hard to come by in a short film.
Jason, how did that help you coming up with the backstory? I'm in a similar boat as Jason because like I started doing movies because I was at festivals and people liked me. And then I also kind of I always feel weird saying that I'm an actor or something. And then, so I kind of relate to what you're saying here, Jason, but how did that help, having a backstory? even if you don't know it when the the viewers are watching, they might not know the backstory. But how does it help you?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I would be surprised if any. I mean, obviously, none of the literal backstory gets communicated. Even how much of like what's going on in my head, how much of it gets communicated, probably 1%. But it helps in two big ways. One is it grounded me in decisions about how to act in the moment, right? Because you can't really be thinking about that. You have to be reacting. I have to be reacting to the things Tova's asking me and saying to me. The other thing is it was an opportunity for me to practice developing a character, which is central to this discipline, and working through it with Chris, who had written the screenplay. The short screenplay helped me a ton. The other side of this is, Neal, my background is really writing, directing. That's what I've been doing for 15, 20 years. And so having the chance to explore building a character with Dayna producing, with Chris directing and having written, and then to act alongside Tova, it gives me this whole new point of view about writing and directing. And how do I create a character that would be interesting and jumps off the page to a performer? How do I help a performer bring it to life when I'm directing on set? So, it's bigger than just the performance for me. It really sort of reached into a lot of the other things that I do.
I know you won best screenplay at a festival. How does that help? How does that help your project?
In this case, I think it wasn't the first award it won. It was probably I would say arguably of all the things I've ever done in film, this is the most awarded things, the screenplay for this film.
Oh, wow.
And which surprised me. I mean, for sure. But like, because I really wrote it with no intention of making it. I was like, oh, this is fun. I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna be a one-off. And then I submitted to a few places, and about the I know what it was. When I won the International Sci-Fi and Horror Film Festival, which is part of Phoenix Film Festival, actually it was a financial award. Like, it actually had money attached to it. And when I got money for it, I was like, maybe this is okay. Maybe I should be making this thing. Like, it seems to be doing like surprisingly well. Maybe we should make this. And so that's when I started thinking about actually making it. And then it came together fairly quickly after that, for sure.
Is that the premiere of the
It's a world premiere, New York Horror Film Festival, Thursday at 7 p.m. This 2 days.
Yeah, it's coming up very quick. Are you going to be there, Tova?
Yes, I will.
So have you seen the finished film? I apparently haven't seen with an audience, but have you seen the finish?
I have seen it. The only reason I hesitated is because I know how fantastic it is to see these things on a big screen. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like I haven't fully seen it yet, but I saw it yet.
Yeah, and with people there, it's a totally different experience. Who else is going to be there?
I'll be there.
My parents, my brother, my husband, maybe some friends.
And have you guys been to the New York City Horror Film Festival before?
I have. I don't know. Yeah, I've been. They played the last movie that Dayna and I made, Moonlight Sonata with Scissors. They played that 2 years ago. So
you've not been, Tova?
I have not. I think that our short film was maybe just not short enough. Blank is actually 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, right.
So, but I'm very excited. I've heard wonderful things.
Along those lines, a 30-minute short. Do you think? I don't always ask if it's too long, but was that hard to, hard to get played places? Just because even if it's great, it's just hard because you could put three 10-minute shorts in that time.
I think that when a festival head feels the need to explain, people reached out to say, not a reflection of you, it's just very long. And nobody owes anyone that. So not everyone who didn't take it said anything. Some people probably didn't like it. Who knows?
Right.
But
Well, as
it's
somebody who did program it, I can actually
that's where I
answer the
saw it was
question
actually a nightmare.
directly. Yeah, 30 minutes is tough. 30 minutes requires a really committed effort, an extra committed effort on the programmer side to play that short. And I told Tova and Avi that when we played it, I was like, I love you guys. Don't send me another half hour short. Because it's hard, and because you do end up leaving out other stuff. I mean, we end up leaving out a whole other festival length program of stuff we would like to play because of how many submissions we get. But in the end, I think I hope it feels valuable because people know that it's special, that it was selected, and we found the room to play it, and we found the context to play it. Because that's the other thing, if you play a half hour in a block, Neal, like it defines the block.
Yeah.
Right. If it's an hour and a half
That's usually like, you're right. It's either half or like or a third of the block.
Yeah. So you got to find a context that makes sense to play it with whatever else you play it with, that sort of thing. But it was great. Tova was terrific in it. It's how she got on my radar too as an actor. And I don't know that anybody. I mean, I know Chris will hold forth on it, I'm sure, if you give him the chance. But I just want to say Tova is incredibly strong in this short. The short is smart and sophisticated in a way that a lot of sophisticated things that play on expectations are, and that you probably don't get how smart it is at first, not because anybody's dumb, but because it plays on expectations you already have in your head.
Yeah.
So you're just playing along with it the whole time before you realize, oh, yeah, we totally zigged and zagged a bunch of times already in really interesting ways. And I think Tova is as good as I think the screenplay is and the direction is, which I think is very good. I think Tova was really the key to unlocking that, because like she said, she found layers of scared, and those layers are informed by the expectations that are played with throughout. So I just say that to say Tova was super strong, and if you have the chance to see the short, I think you'll have a really good time. It's really fun.
And Tova, did you come up with a backstory for your character?
No. I remembered being a camp counselor. I think I talked to Jason a lot about sort of his character, and then tried to forget it. Because
I was gonna say, Tova, you totally did built a background. I mean,
well,
I do feel like I feel like you threw it away, but you did. I mean, I heard you talk about it.
The one thing I did was I made friendship bracelets. It was so important to me. I got obsessed. I was like, she needs to have friendship bracelets. That's who she is. And I bought beads and I made everyone friendship bracelets. I'm wearing my Darcy bracelet right now.
Nice.
And I bought a very specific new nail color. So that this is the kind of nail polish she wears. So it wasn't about thinking about what is her lived experience, but more like, what is it like to be this person? And I did visual cues for that for myself.
Yeah, I was going to comment. I had very long conversations with both of them, but they were kind of focused on very different things, which, every actor has their own sort of process. And I my job as a director is to, I hopefully facilitate that process for everyone so that we're getting the best out of them. And so there was definitely, a difference there, but I think ultimately they both brought, just amazing stuff to it. So clearly it works,
I do remember hearing Tova ask lots of very smart questions. And yes, I agree that you did build a background. You just built it in a different way. And I think you were very of the moment, like what is going on right now? What was going on right before this? Where am I going right after this? And just really staying super present, which is also valuable. And that other stuff's in the back of your mind and comes out.
Yeah, I'm such an actor. I was like, the moment before. What's the moment before?
Was your last short the first time you acted, or have you been acting before that? Like, I don't know. What's your background in acting?
I have a degree in theater. And I think my first time acting was I weirdly enough, I think I did films with my brother when we were kids, just all the time. I would act and he would film. And then in summers during college, I would go and be in people's like student projects. I would work constantly working. I did a lot of workshops and I have other things, just they're not all good. And I was getting really frustrated. I was working and, making money and being fine. I said to my brother, I was like, I have a fantastic screenwriter in my house. Why won't you make something good? All these things are bad. And he said, I'm not going to make you a screenplay. You have to make yourself a screenplay. And so he gave me a pile of books, and I love reading, and I read and I asked a million questions, and then I started doing it, and he was like, okay, well, we should do it together now. But I didn't want to make you think that and then do it for you. So at that point, it was fully collaborative, and we wrote this together specifically because I wanted to be part of something good. And I will say, despite not being my brother, Chris Ethridge is a fantastic writer, and I'm so happy that I got to be in this because of that.
That's very nice of you, yeah. And I agree, he is a good writer. Or a fantastic writer, I'm sorry. But
Fantastic.
Yeah. No, he talked about, I don't want to talk too much about the mask, but I do want to ask Jason about wearing the mask. And when the different colors come on, like, is that distracting?
It was no, gosh. When we were actually shooting, Neal, it was not distracting. But the whole, I mean, it was, I'll let Chris talk about how, or Dayna talk about how much of it they want to talk about, but how it is, like what you see, the 15 seconds you see on screen, there's an hour of prep and trying to make things work and trying to make it all hang together and figure out how we're going to do it technically. So that stuff, was challenging, but I also think like coming into it, once we heard action, it wasn't distracting at all. It's specifically you said like when it changes colors. I don't know how much Chris wants to protect.
Yeah, I'll just say, so there's the mechanism. There's a remote control that we use with the mask to do the color changing, which I guess we've talked about that. The mask changes colors. I think that's pretty much out there, which is fine.
Okay, and the mask changes colors, and the remote control was on me, so yeah. I a lot of the time am controlling the colors.
I just want to, like when even if it's white or whatever, when it comes on, like, and you have to keep your eyes open because I had LASIK surgery, so my eyes are very sensitive to light. So I was just wondering if that was an issue at all.
I think it looks on screen much brighter than it felt wearing. I'll just say that I was not distracted once we got into it. We're stopped up so much because they were all overnights. It was always shooting at night. That you get a big blasty glow off the mask, which looks awesome, but it wasn't like the sun in my eyes.
Right, fair enough. How about who actually created the mask, Chris? Like, you actually put it together. Who makes it?
Some company in China. I don't.
China.
It was a pre-purchase device.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We'll edit that out of the show.
Yeah, it's fine. I do think I've actually, going back to Jason's comment about backstory, we talked a little about, like, if we were to have a bigger budget, we certainly would have built something a little more custom. But for this purposes, it worked very well. And it looks great on camera. So
yeah, and I'm not just, this isn't like a save or anything, but I do think like if it's like a more typical look of the mask, it works in this anyway. You know what I mean? You want like a typical setup, but you do something new with it.
Right. Can I just say, it's not like weird or embarrassing at all that it was ordered online. Like, this is indie filmmaking on indie.
Oh, no,
filmmaking, Like in it. So I just want to make, for me, it's like you use what you have. It looks fucking great, right? Like it really looks high production. And that's thanks to script, cinematography, all that stuff. So. Yeah, I don't think I can't imagine Chris is embarrassed saying it's from.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not at all. I just I think that's more than the curse of the indie film is if I just had a little more,
always
right, and that's one place where I'm like, because it does look cool, but I'm like, man, if we had a custom version of that, we really could have dialed that in 100, but it looks so good it's fine. Like I'm not at all embarrassed, and I didn't
it's fine.
So
I know.
I think that to me, it adds an extra layer to it. The kind of mask it is. It's so fantastic looking that anyone who has, used a mask like this would find a little extra humor in it.
Totally.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think
this slasher has excellent skin.
That's right.
And hair.
And hair.
I mean, it's a simple thing too that did look amazing in the dark, but we have to give a shout out to Brian Redding.
Yes,
and
we do.
Folks for figuring out how to really amp up that effect and bring it home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everything looks great in the movie. Where was it shot?
Stone Mountain, Georgia. So about 15 minutes. Dayna and I live 10 minutes apart, and it's about 15 minutes or so from our houses. And we, we shot this in May. The previous summer, we shot Dayna's feature film debut, where her directorial debut as a feature director, called Eidolon, which is gonna be out next year, I think. And we shot it. We found Dayna looked at like 8,000 different properties. It seems like finally found this really cool house near us that had everything she needed for her project. We went there and spent 2 weeks there, or longer even, probably shooting that film. And it had this really awesome barn in the back that was not needed for Dayna's film. And I was like, we gotta come shoot this. At some point, we gotta come shoot something.
Like, Dayna, come look at the barn before we start shooting. And I knew then it's like something's.
Yeah. Did you have the idea for this at all at that point, or is that like an inspiration at all?
I had started, I had the I think there's two key sort of ideas that melded on this one, and one is the mask concept of that particular type of mask, and then the concept of what Tova does in that second half of the movie. And when they kind of got, and I definitely had one of those two ideas at that point, but I don't think I had them all put together yet. And so it's when I got that second idea that I was able to or put it together at the same time. That was when I was able to bang out the script pretty quickly.
Now, I know Tova needs to leave here in a few minutes. So first of all, you did an amazing job in the movie. You have a lot of presence on screen. You show a wide range of emotion, in the 10 minutes. But would you come back for a sequel or a longer version, a feature version of this?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll be all the characters this time. No, I would absolutely do it again. Absolutely.
It's the avant-garde version.
And congratulations on it, and I hope you have a good time at the festival.
I'm gonna have a great time. I know everyone's gonna love it. It's gonna be such an incredible thing to see it on the big screen.
Do you ever get you don't seem like a person that would get nervous, but what's the feeling like going in to see yourself on the big screen?
I think the first time it's fine. I think after a while of seeing yourself in this, you start noticing a little bit more little things. But I'm perfectly fine seeing myself the first few times, and I hope that, and I believe that this will have a very good festival run. So I be.
It definitely seems like a movie
a million times.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. It definitely seems like something that will get a good reaction with an audience.
Mm-hmm.
It'll really, I want to hear them laugh or scream, or cry,
or both.
Sneeze.
It's a big sneeze.
Give me anything.
Film. It's always a great reaction. I was really looking for a sneeze there.
Chris is always blazing new trails, making the first sneezy slasher ever.
You've seen
Well, it's not that
slashers
they're
now.
saying
Yeah, we need the sneezer.
The sneezer. Yeah.
That's what 4DX needs to add, right? Like some dust particles.
And where can people follow you, Tova, to see what you're up to? Like, not back to your home, but online.
I mean, they can follow me on TikTok at Supernova Tova and on Instagram at Supernova Tova. I do cosplay stuff.
Oh, you do? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had a moment on set where I helped jerry rig the mask for the Jason. It was fun.
What are like your go-to cosplay? Do you ever do Gamera, since you're a big Gamera fan?
I haven't done Gamera. I have done Mothra.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to see that. I'll check.
Yeah, I'll send it to you, or you can scroll on my Instagram. And I love doing Squirrel Girl. She's my favorite.
Oh, a Marvel character.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and
thank you so much.
Good luck in the rest of the. Good luck on the festival tour.
It's gonna be great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Bye.
of course. Yeah, bye. So, Jason, would you want to do a feature version? Do you have an idea for a feature version? Or Chris?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Jason already.
I mean,
well,
again, Jason and I talked for a good long time. Like, there's a really, really great built-out character here, and I think that there's some pretty obvious directions we would take a feature, if we were to do that. So, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Is it something you thought of when you were even writing it, or is it something you thought of after?
I definitely thought, on this one, I think just because of the nature of the material and the fact that there's like a masked killer, right? I was definitely like, oh yeah, I probably ought to start like pondering what that would look like, just in case. But yeah, I think it would be it would be a lot of fun to make this, with a bigger story in mind.
Mm-hmm. Jason, what's the history of Ohio Nightmares? Like, when did you start it, and what was like the goal there? No.
Did we lose Jason?
I have no.
He left.
I will not answer this question about festival. But along with the festival idea, I mean, I think I met you through festivals, Chris. I know I met Dayna at a convention.
Mm.
Yeah. Buffalo Dreams, right? When Havens Inn played at Buffalo Dreams, that's where we met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jason lost his audio. I see. Can you hear
I'm
us
good now.
All right.
I went out and came back, and all is well.
All right. So Jason, what was the origin of Nightmares?
Well, I'd been on the circuit with some shorts for a few years, and it was a confluence of like three things, Neal. One, I'd been on the circuit, been making genre shorts. Two, I left my corporate job and decided I was going to do a nonprofit for a few years. So I was helping run Gateway Film Center in Columbus, which is a top 5 indie art house in North America. And we didn't have in Central Ohio, and not really to speak of in Ohio, a big international sort of premier prestige horror festival. And so I'd been seeing all this great stuff out there. We had this really active horror community in Central Ohio and in Ohio in general. And I just, I wanted to bring that stuff to Ohio, but I also wanted to create a festival that I would be really super satisfied as a filmmaker to be a part of. So those were the influences. So we created this tagline called Better Horror, and we set our purpose to elevate horror and inspire horror filmmakers. And then we were off and running. Now we've done 10 editions of it somehow, and it got really big. Like, I do a lot less writing now, Neal, because I'm watching a lot of submissions all the time.
Yeah. Now, I mention this often on the show when I talk about festivals, and your festival in particular was you really like pushed, because I can be someone who just kind of stands in the background. I might talk to people that I know, like Dayna and Chris or something, but you like pushed me to like, or you pushed everyone to like interact and talk with each other. And I thought that's a big part of Nightmares, and I was glad for that experience.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad. I mean, I think everybody is what I recognize and what we all know. It's not like some secret that I identified. You get around a lot of other people. People are anxious. They're not sure how to create a new community, right? A short-term community. And then the other thing is indie film festivals broadly, like lots of them we know aren't this way, but they kind of inspire a sense of competition,
Right.
which I don't think is great. Maybe it's good for some people. I don't think that's good. Certainly not good for connecting with the other people if you think that they are your competition. So we invest a ton of energy in establishing the expectation that people will cheer each other on. We talk a lot about, hey, you're all on one team. Like literally, these are your teammates. And then our team pours a ton of energy up front as people arrive and throughout the festival in being the bridge to connect them with other people. And it's that's where the magic happens. Like once you get over that stuff and you start talking to other people, agreeing to see their movies, everybody starts talking about what they're doing next. You have new production partners, you meet the screenwriters there, and you end up making their movie, and it's like, and it self-perpetuates. Now every year we have people who come back from their first Nightmares with a project that they made with somebody else they met at Nightmares, and that's obviously super cool. But like really what we just hope is there are really two elements to a great culture. One is support, and I think a lot of places do that great. The other is challenge to be better. Some places do that. I don't know that a ton of places do both. And so we really say, like, we support you. We got your back. We believe in you. We're invested in you. And you can do better than you did. You can be even better. Don't get stagnant.
Nightmares Film Festival, one of the best around. Antonio from Mexico. Actually, that's where I met Antonio. Was Nightmares. So,
gracias, Tonio.
Yeah, Chris, what are the importance of festivals for you?
I get a lot of. This is a great question, and the reason is because it's a little different for everybody, I think. But for me, I get a lot of my creative cup refilled at festivals. Like I'm very busy with work and some of the other things I do outside of the film stuff, and sometimes I forget just how meaningful the film stuff is, and then I'll go to a festival and it's like right back there. It's like it really, like being around people talking about their work, talking about your work, talking about the art form in general. It's just that's what I get out of them. As far as the actual film, I mean, certainly it's good to put eyeballs on it. It's always, every time I watch a movie I've made with an audience, I learn something, even if it's not well received. I've certainly been in a couple of screenings where I'm like, oh, that was rough, but I mean, you learn from it, right? Like it's helpful. And it's also gratifying. Like it's like if people enjoy your work, it's really nice it makes you feel good that they did, But festivals sort of are a big mix of all of that together. So you just, it is for me, I mean, hopefully for everybody, but for me, it is probably my main form of communal experience in my life. And I love them. I love them all. Nightmares is one of the best, for sure. But I don't, very rarely have ever been to a bad film festival.
Yeah. And short films in particular, it's going to be, probably your only chance to watch them with a group of people.
Right. Yes, 100%.
And Dayna, I think we talked about this, but you yourself, what do you think the importance of a festival and for people out there who would like to attend? Why do you think they should attend a festival?
I think that this is a chance to see, first of all, local, whichever festival you go to, most of the time is going to have some sort of local component. So if you're local to the area, I think it's especially gratifying to go and get to meet people who you might actually be able to be there in person with. But I agree that the communal experience of watching a film is just absolutely unparalleled. There is nothing I like seeing better, whether I'm working at a festival or I'm attending a festival, than seeing the people out in the hallway talking about their films. That's what film is for. We all made these because we want to connect with people on some level. And whether you're an audience member, connecting with the film in that way, whether you're connecting with it as a filmmaker, your own film or someone else's, this is how we understand the world around us. These are the things we talk about, the thematic content, how the films are made. And I also do get a lot of inspiration from them because it's tough out there. It is tough making films. It is no joke. And being around other people who understand that, who you can bounce ideas off of and talk about how their films were made, hear about what they did, and just be inspired by people is incredible.
How do you think festivals, Chris, like shaped These Colors Don't Run? Because it does seem like something that would play like well in front of an audience.
I mean, probably. I would say probably that was more internal, like more internalized. I don't know that I put specific thought into that in that regard, but I certainly have seen a lot of short films at festivals, and I have an idea to some degree of what is going to work well and what isn't. Hopefully, from that. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's anything like, it wasn't specifically
right. It's not like
designed to be a festival piece or anything. But any more than I try with all of my work to
right. You don't want to make it like, I hope no one likes this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't think anybody does that, but I definitely think some people like to. I guess some people like to make more esoteric things. So they enjoy that, right? Like, hopefully, at the end of the day, hopefully you're making something that you want to watch, right? And some people enjoy things that maybe a larger audience might not take to as well. I tend to think that I make mainstream type films to some degree. I certainly I like to see mainstream films just as much as indie stuff, and I sort of like kind of think my career has been walking that line, between like mainstream work and indie work. And my favorite, perhaps my favorite story about that is there's a movie that Michael Epstein and several other people made during COVID called The Transformations of the Dr. Jenkins. Uh-huh. And that's another movie where you give away the plot if you tell the too many details.
Yeah, it's very hard to explain at all.
But the idea is that a bunch of filmmakers got pages. Sort of like they get a bunch of pages and you make your little piece of the movie and they stitch it all together. That particular film had a twist to it, and I thought that I was doing scene 11 that would be midway through the movie or whatever, and then was rather shocked to find that the movie opened with my film. And I'm like, what happened? And when you get the gimmick, you understand it and you're like, oh, okay. But during the Q&A, one of the Q&As, someone asked, how did you decide the order? And the response was, well, we sort of just kind of just move things around, but we always knew that Chris's was going to go first. And I think I was like, what? Why? Like, it was a very shocked expression. And what they said was, well, because yours felt like it might be it felt like a more like mainstream film. It felt like again, they wanted to like ease people in, to something that was actually a very complex thing to watch. Ultimately, with that, and I took that as a compliment. I was like, that's great, because that's kind of what I do. So
yeah. And oddly enough, when you talk about like playing with an audience, like at a festival, I do think that's like a very specific. I don't know, but it does seem like a movie that plays best with like a festival audience who. I don't know, like if you watch it by yourself, if you really get the same experience as if you watch with other people and then talked about it afterwards.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I regret I was going to be one of the filmmakers in it, and then I was like, oh, I don't think I could do this. I didn't want to ruin the movie.
No, you would say yes next time. Say yes.
All right, fair enough. When is the next Nightmares, Jason?
Always the weekend-ish before Halloween. So this year, our 11th edition, I think, is October 15th through 18th.
All right. So
that sounds right to me.
Time, yeah. When can people start submitting films? Or can
we're open for thanks for asking. We're open for submissions. We do this insane thing where I open it the day after the festival closes. So everybody does these different stages where the fee increases. So our early submission is through January 13th. So if people have stuff and they want to get in where it's least expensive before it goes up to full price, that's your first price break.
All right. And Dayna, you mentioned being a big fan of the Final Girls. So can you name like 2 or 3 of your favorite Final Girls?
Sally from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Sarah from My Bloody Valentine. And everyone in Scream, but I mean, I think that Scream works as a franchise because it's always different, right? But then you have Sydney carrying throughout. But each one's its own whodunit, so you get to get different people along the way.
And Sally, I think, is the best of both. It's definitely because you could call her the Final Girl or Scream Queen.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a performance.
Oh yeah, that's in my opinion the best like selling of her going, of someone going into madness. Like it seems genuine because I've watched stuff where if someone doesn't do that well, it can actually take you out of the movie, but you really feel for her and think you're going down a really bad road.
100%.
Yeah, amazing performance. And so, do you know where these colors don't go from here, from New York?
Yes, I'm not sure. It's interesting. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say. Premiere, so I'll just say that I know it's going to play in Atlanta in the near future. I know it's going to play in Austin, Texas in the near future. And hopefully some other cool places as well. But yeah, this is a full, a full run. I'm submitting to a lot of places, and we'll see who takes it. But so far the response has been pretty solid. So happy.
For someone out there who hasn't submitted their film to their short film to a festival or any film to a festival, what advice would you give them to where to submit or how to go about doing this?
So Jason's actually the expert on this and has written many a blog about it. I think that the key takeaway I always got is, research the festivals you're submitting to. Is it a good fit? Like, does your film, is it similar in nature to the types of films? If I submitted this to a festival that only played dramas, it probably would not get selected, and it'd probably be a waste of money. Yeah. So that's. I mean, Jason can talk more about this if he wants to, but that's my sort of.
Yeah. What would your take on that be, Jason?
Chris is right. I mean, research the festivals. For me, I think the thing that most determines happiness about being on the circuit is knowing why you're on the circuit before you start submitting. Almost everybody does it on autopilot, right? Almost everybody over submits. I'm sorry, Film Freeway, but right, like they start to think of it as like a score. How many festivals did you play? And it's totally natural. Everyone has thought that before, but the way to be less stressed and more satisfied and not feel like you're in competition is to know why you're on the circuit at all. Like, what is your goal in taking this film out to festivals? And just spending 5 or 10 minutes thinking about that will totally change your experience being on the circuit, because you'll just make more purposeful decisions. So if it's like, I have a short and I want to get it distributed, well, you have immediately narrowed it down to very, very few festivals that will help you with that goal. I want to play big theaters, or I want to play near home, or whatever it is, that helps a ton.
Yeah, that's good advice. And there are some out there that it's like just a group of people watching it on Zoom or something. So make sure it's like an actual, thing. And I'm not even being facetious. Like I know some are like that.
No, that's true for sure. Yeah.
Just do it. What do you all feel about virtual film festivals?
I think if it's right for you, then you should do it. I don't sit in judgment of them. I think, again, I think you should know what your goal is with your film, and if playing a virtual only festival matches your goal, then great. I will say, for me personally, and many of the people I know really well, the chief benefit of festivals is the community and the network that you build, because those people become your teammates. They help you make stuff. I mean, Neal, you've done that. I know. I mean, all of us have done that. So, on the off chance that that's not something you're looking for, yeah, a virtual festival might match your goals. But I think a lot of people end up submitting to them accidentally. I mean, I think there are people who submit to them and don't realize they're solely virtual. There's no physical.
I do think there's a place for them, especially in terms of accessibility, both in terms of budget and in terms of like actual physical access to movies that other people, people otherwise might not be able to enjoy. So I definitely think there is a place for them, but yes, I agree. That's the same. I mean, what Jason said, is going to steal from you, but the advice I give people, I mostly, if I'm going to enter something, it's largely screenwriting contests. And when people ask me, should I enter a screenwriting contest? Well, what do you want to get out of it? Do you think Sam Raimi's going to show up at your door and knock on your door if you win this contest? Probably not worth your time then, because that ain't happening. But if you know what you want out of it, and then you know what that festival has, I mean, to me, it's usually about just talking with people about my script. So I think that if you know that a virtual film fest or an arm of a film fest that is virtual is going to handle your film with care, that to me is one of the primary considerations, that they're going to actually watch it and make a good program. And whether that's shown in a theater or virtually, it's still, care is put into the program would be the most important part of it for me.
Yeah. Chris, do you have anything to say about a virtual film festival?
Oh, so many things. No, I think that, I think that one goal that you might have is as many people to see it as possible, right? That is a potential goal. If you have that goal, then by all means, virtual film festivals are fantastic for that purpose. They also, particularly for like smaller festivals, like a lot of larger festivals now have things like, the ability to put subtitles in the theater, and for hearing disabled people and things of that nature. But virtual festivals, you can, they really, really do sort of like have that functionality. Some of them even have like audio descriptive now, tracks and things of that nature. So there's a lot of things around that I really think are very valuable. But at the same time, as I've already talked about, like it's a communal experience for me to be there, and it's really hard to. It's not impossible. I've seen it done pretty well a couple times during COVID, but it's not the same. Like it's hard to sort of create the same experience through screens like this, right? Like it's just not quite as the same. So
and as someone who has run many virtual film festivals, the main thing that I wanted to do was the community aspect.
Right.
And so I made sure there's always the chat room and things like that. And it was actually interesting, was at Buried Alive Film Festival, John Devlin told me that the virtual Severed Limbs, the virtual one I do, was the first time that he was accepted anywhere. So I do think like they, and that like inspired him to make more stuff. And now he's like, it makes a lot. So that made me feel really good. So I do think
great, dude.
There's definitely benefits to them. But I also agree it's not the same as like a physical festival. And there's also a lot of things to look out for, like in anything.
Yeah, they can be money grabs, right? Like some of them can definitely be
Yeah, I also keep mine
optimal
free,
situations.
which is hard to do now
Which-
because
yeah.
everything charges. But
Yeah.
it's unfortunately why I haven't done it for a little while.
How are you managing numbers of submissions if you're not charging for submissions, Neal? I mean, do you just
Well, I haven't done one for a while because it actually started to get very big. There's a lot of like people submitting stuff, which I didn't mind that part so much, but like Film Freeway charges, to even take submissions now.
Yeah.
So I did a couple where people I was just gonna stop doing them, but a couple people volunteered to sponsor them, which was very nice. Like Gregory Lamberson.
Nice.
And but honestly, after Buried Alive, it kind of inspired me to bring him back because a lot of people had mentioned, John Devlin especially, saying that was his first time, having anything play anywhere.
Yeah, it's nice.
And I actually had before that people who had never made anything, and they made stuff specifically for that because they enjoyed watching the films.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I like that, and I knew it was stuff that might not play it like an actual festival because I don't want to say it wasn't bad quality because it was entertaining and it had a lot of creativity, but they had never made anything before. And so, but that was a good feeling. Like, this local guy just made, something on his phone and it was kind of goofy or whatever, but it was still, there was still a lot of creativity there.
Yeah. Giving them a chance. I like that.
Yeah. So I'll have to figure it out, but I would like to bring it back.
Dude, just charge $1 or $5. Like, just keep yourself from getting swamped. That'll keep you from getting stuff that's not a fit. Just make people stop and think for a minute. It's still totally affordable, really inexpensive, but might just help your life be better.
Yeah. And I did put a limit on the time of them because it just made it like I had a first 30, then I brought it down to 20. And then I even thought about making 15 or something because I would want to, like everyone, I'm sure you're saying, well, you want to include as many people as possible.
Right.
Because the more people that are showing their stuff, like that is kind of the goal to see like all different, like people's, people art from all different people.
Yeah.
But if you have a bunch of stuff that's 30, 40 minutes, it just makes it very, unless you do like a 12-hour block. And that's really not very, it's just not going to happen. One last question here. I actually kind of liked it. He says, what is everyone's final boss? And, I think you can't just pick a villain because in a lot of movies, if you're just one villain in a movie, they're not really the final boss.
Right.
So it would have to be like a movie where there's multiple, villains. Maybe like the Alien Queen and like Aliens.
That's a harder one. Yeah.
Man, I really
you can't say like
Raul
Freddy because there's no other
and-
villain in it,
But Raul Julia in the original Street Fighter.
All right.
Big fan there.
Uh-huh.
M. Bison, right?
Yes.
The thing that came to mind, I forget the name of the last one, but Pacific Rim. I'm a huge fan of Pacific Rim, the first one. I just love, kaiju versus mechs and just any of them are, any of them are great. But but that one at the end, just fantastic stuff.
I mean, Bolo and Bloodsport. Does that have to be horror? Is that?
No, yeah. I was
gonna say, like, we're all
away from horror in horror.
Because I was thinking, Texas Chainsaw obviously has the family, but I don't know if there's really a final boss of them. I guess
they don't like really work your way through them.
No, they're kind of.
You know what?
Together.
You do kind of in The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly in the remake, you kind of go up to Mars, right?
Yeah,
he's a badass.
Yeah, I like that question though. I think they might even been joking around, but I actually think it's an interesting question.
I gotta pass for now. This is gonna be like, now I'm gonna sit around thinking about this all day.
Yeah, I actually like the question.
Yeah,
I would have seen Once in Future Smash, which I loved if it wasn't for Chattanooga Film Festival being virtual. All right, that's cool. They did a good job with Discord to make it feel like a community.
Love Chattanooga. That's a great film festival.
Really good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where did after you do the festival run, what do you do with a short film?
Yeah, Chris, when do we all get rich?
Yeah, that's not the way.
What?
So it's a good question. And I'm actually our previous film. I'm actually sort of navigating that right now. Because ultimately they usually end up online. And there are some mechanisms by which you can get a very small amount of money every month for doing that, and then there's some mechanisms where it's free. And then and you kind of have some control over that. Usually with the ones that pay, you have to be selected. There's also some. There's what was it, Short of the Week? Is that right, Jason? That's one of them. Yeah, and then there's places where they will actually put you in front of a big audience if you get selected, which is really cool. I'm looking at one of those right now for the previous short. But then ultimately you can always just stick it on YouTube and have people watch it. But if you can get it to one of these other channels, even if you don't make money or a lot of money. If they're bringing people in for a variety of shorts, you'll get a better viewership. Which I think once your festival run for a short is done, that's a key sort of for me. It's a key sort of thing is now I just want people to be able to find it and see it. The other thing that can happen occasionally, particularly in horror, is it can end up in an anthology. And so you can have it like a bunch of them together. Jason put together an anthology called Hilarious. That was great. I was about to call it Seven Hells, but I think that was the original title, right?
That was that was the first plane that
I was like, that's not it. Hold on, we changed it. Yeah. But and that's a really great way to like showcase stuff that you can actually then like get it. It's a little bit easier to get via traditional VOD channels to carry it. Sometimes they'll carry shorts. Shutter does short blocks and stuff every now and then. But having an anthology will get you a better shot at getting it on like Amazon and Apple and Fandango at home and all those things. So like I as I make more of these, I've in the back of my head I'm like, maybe one day I'll have enough that I'll throw them together into an anthology.
This is actually a good answer by Bad Seed FX. My favorite final boss in a horror movie is the mom from Dead Alive.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
that's actually a good answer. Yeah.
Wait, does Evil Dead? Okay, now you got me thinking about like Evil Dead 2 and stuff. I feel like the new Evil Deads might have a sort of succession.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
I'm still thinking about this. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. It might be a good show. I'll think of our answers on it. All right. Well, this was great, and these colors don't run red in 2 days.
Yeah, can I just talk a little bit about that real quick?
Of course.
So New York City Horror Film Festival, fantastic festival. Been running in New York for I think 18 years, something like that. It's a long running festival.
More than 20.
Oh, is it more than? All right. Okay. Yeah.
Long time.
Long time. Fantastic family run festival. Ronnie and who's the director, and then Brian, who's the head programmer this year. It's always been very good to me, very kind to my films, and really the first time 2 years ago, the first time I got to go, and it was just a blast. Really great theater that they have it in, and just a lot of fun, a lot of really good people, and a lot of shared similarities between some of the other festivals, such as Nightmares, that I like. So a great time. If you're in the New York area, please come check it out. It's gonna be awesome. 7 p.m. on December 4th at the Look Cinema in Hell's Kitchen, West 57th and 12th.
Sweet. All right, and I'll put the links up on the website and everything.
Nice.
And have a great time at the festival.
Awesome. Thank you, Neal.
Thanks, Neal.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, Neal.
Yeah, anytime. You're all welcome back on anytime. And real quick, where can people follow everybody here? Chris.
Instagram and Facebook, Chris Ethridge Film.
Dayna.
At Dayna Directs, Dayna. You have to remember the Y on Instagram or my website, which is just my name, DaynaDoffke.com.
And Jason.
Yeah, I'm the same on all of them at my full name.
Did you wear the mask on Halloween?
What?
Did you wear the mask for Halloween this year?
Oh yeah, of course.
All right.
Yeah, of course. I was out. I have not stopped promoting the film. Neal, everywhere I go, people are like, "What the hell's the matter with that guy?"
He went too method and he can't come back.
That's right. I'm like Austin Butler. I can't stop doing the Elvis accent.
All right. See you guys. It's been great.
All right, man. Thank you.
Everyone in the chat.
Thanks.
Here's the Buried Alive here. Shannon. Hello, Shannon. All right. Night, everybody. Or good day. It's like 2 in the afternoon.
Right.
Hopefully you're not going to sleep. Or maybe you are. I don't know.
Maybe.
Hi, this is Doug Bradley, Pinhead from the Hellraiser movies, and you are listening to Without Your Head. And you better keep listening to Without Your Head, or you will not only be without your head, you will be without your soul, because I will tear it apart.